Okay. It is 12:30, just about. This did pretty much what I expected it to do. Didn't really do much since I took my break. I didn't really take much of a break, but it's been about 30 minutes to an hour. Um, let's see here. Very small fair value gaps in here. Um, this one's definitely the most significant, I think, for inversion, and it is overlapping that Wednesday fair value gap. It is officially 12:30. ES has really obvious sell side liquidity right here. NQ, not so much, but that doesn't mean NQ won't come down. We do have the 10 o'clock draw here. 10 o'clock liquidity. Bearish SMT on NQ right there. Get an order prepped. Definitely don't want to see high of day. I don't think. And then best case scenario would be this 10 o'clock liquidity. I'll just target right above the first presented for value gap. Well, good confirmation would be displacement. Break this low with displacement and then come back up into my inversion for value gap here. We also have an inversion right here. That's kind of nice. So this one's interesting, and I also like this one as well. Not placing the order yet. I'm going to see how it trades here. We are not in macro yet, but it is 12:30, and so the move could start a little before the 12:50 macro. Just kind of waiting and see. It used this inversion, went up and kissed that there. Failed to reach this projection. We have a bearish S&T at this high on NQ. ES took that high, and NQ did not. And ES has really obvious sell side here and here. NQ isn't as obvious, right? This isn't like an obvious sell side liquidity pool because the lows are not relatively equal. This one is slightly lower, but these ones are. So ES is providing a lot of the bias. Bearish S&T on ES at that high. Failed to reach the upper quadrant. No, that's the lower quadrant of the daily for value gap. See, this could be potentially change state delivery. I think I might be getting that slightly wrong. Break of structure here. Utilizing this event horizon right there of these two blue lines. Those are projections of the hourly, the first hour's opening range. If I click it, it's from this high to that low, projected forward. There isn't any sort of significant displacement lower. Um, it doesn't have to go immediately at 12:30, but we're just kind of in that time window where it could happen. It could come back up here again and sweep this high and work that quadrant. It could accumulate here and then eventually just snap lower. Say, if I go to the 15-minute chart, there's a wick here, which could be interesting to note. I didn't put a space there, but it's fine. It's also overlapping this little inversion. I guess I'll draw it out. We'll see if we hold that or not. It's kind of interesting. Get rid of the middle line. Up to the high of it. Closed a little bit above the midpoint. And slightly above that Wix midpoint too. Now it's a 1 minute close, so I don't want to say it's like extremely significant. That 15-minute Wix consequence encroachment, because often you'll see maybe the 1 minute has a little body above a level, but then the 5 minute is respecting it. But in a perfect world, the 1 minute will respect it as well. This is a sign that potentially it will take this high. These are nice equal lows here, slightly lower low here, but that's a nice liquidity pool, plus this here. We ended up using this 5 minute for value gap pretty nicely. Back up. It's a 5-minute inversion for value gap right here. That's a really nice inversion for value gap on the 5-minute chart. So the 5-minute even closed above this as well. So this high is pretty likely to get traded above. Well, 40. If you were really confident in this, what you could do is, I guess what I could do is potentially go for that lower quadrant, because it is time to run our lunch macro, and the draw for the lunch macro, I believe, is these lows here. But there isn't any confirmation for me yet to really hop on in. Just about to get a new 15-minute candle. It's a potential swing high forming on the 15-minute right here. It's nice. Hmm. A little tricky getting in this early because we do have relative equal highs, and I wouldn't be shocked if it came up, took these out, had a little accumulation here, and then reversed. That wouldn't completely shock me. It also wouldn't shock me to go to this volume imbalance here and the high of this Wednesday for value gap and go down as well. That wouldn't shock me either. Good confirmation would be that's a nice inversion now too, because it took out this high. Good confirmation would be displacement, break of structure with displacement, and then trade it up into this inversion for the entry. I think that would be nice confirmation. Tempting. The 15-minute chart did close below this Wix midpoint. So that's good. 5-minute respected this Wix midpoint. So everything's respecting the Wix for the most part, except for the 1 minute, but you know, it's the 1 minute chart. We took this liquidity here and then came back down, and now if we respect it, right, that's fine. So it's a nice reaction there. That 15-minute has stayed inside of this fair value gap from Wednesday with the bodies. I think the 1250 macro will start the move lower. Get you to swing high first. So I'm just waiting. I think I would prefer to have a Judas swing first, come up here. Slightly better entry, especially if there's like some displacement. I wouldn't trust any displacement at this point going higher. I would just create an inversion for value gap. It's really nice that we're respecting this one now, right there. But I think we might take these out. It's now 12:50. So do 5 minute candle here. Take a look at that. Hmm. I think this lower quadrant is really interesting for a potential entry. This is inversion, so I'm going to get rid of these. So there's no volume imbalance, so that is the inversion. So if you were anticipating something, I think this is a nice entry. I don't think I'm going to take it. I think I'm going to wait for the confirmation here. If we get a close below this inversion fair value gap, that is a nice place to get in for me, I think. Do have a body closing above that, but it's a 1 minute, so we are taking liquidity as well. So when there's liquidity involved, I don't necessarily expect it to like stop on a dime. When there's look after the liquidity is taken and it's time to go lower, then I expect levels like that to be respected with perfection, I guess. I think this is probably pretty close to high of day. So now it is time to create the high because we're in between this 11:30 and 12:30 window, really 1:30 window. It's really tempting for me to get in here, um, but I think I just want to wait for the confirmation. The 5 minute closed above that as well. It's not a huge deal. Um, but preferably it would respect that. Now it could be this is a little bull flag and they're just tripping buy orders one last time. It could be that after this candle, that is potentially maybe the 1 minute change of state delivery here because there's two consecutive up close candles. Then it uses that perfectly. But of course, that needs to close. Snap back up. To get down here on a closing basis. I really think this is going to come back down. We are taking a liquidity pool. I'm looking at the 15-minute chart. There's a nice little congestion area. We are trading right above that. So I'm going to copy paste this level here. That is the high of the consolidation, the liquidity pool. We right here where my horizontal line is sitting, we've tripped liquidity there, but that is the high. So it would make sense to potentially trade above that a little bit. We don't have to. We could maybe leave that intact because we did trip some highs here. Guess we'll see. 1 o'clock will be really interesting. It's the event horizon of these two levels. And that's right above that liquidity. So I think that'll be a real key spot to watch if we come up above that. If we displace through this, trade to here, I believe that would be change state delivery because we have these consecutive up close candles. If we can get below that, I think that would be go to confirmation to get inside this inversion. Touch that octant, or that quadrant rather. Oh, it's 1 o'clock too. This is the 1 o'clock candle. I like this. Generated all this here, sell side. All that there is nice to see. If we can get below this, I'd want to see a lot of speed through these inefficiencies down to the liquidity here. And it is pretty likely that swing highs and lows form during macros. And so we are in a macro. And at this point in the day, I'd say it's pretty likely that this becomes a some sort of swing high. Of course, if it's one of those days where it just continues trending for the entire rest of the day, then I am wrong. But I think I'd like to see some sort of sell side taken. Especially with how ES is looking, because ES is real obvious with the liquidity. We are trading into an hourly order block as well. Just waiting. Been doing the waiting all day. It's been a nice move up though. It's not this move down here. It's a pretty nice move up. Okay, ES has not taken that high. Bearish S&T there. Now we have this inversion. That one's kind of nice because it is overlapping the projection and the daily lower quadrant. That was the last inefficiency formed before this high was taken. So if we displace, we could use that to go lower. Fail to reach this event horizon. That's good. It's bearish. So it's 1 o'clock. Hourly candle has opened and it is trading above the previous hourly candle's high. So I think that's just accumulation of shorts for smart money. And I think we'll reverse. And at a bare minimum, I think, no pun intended, I think that we'll take this out for the lunch macro. And best case scenario, we will reach this liquidity here. It's really tempting to hop in right now because I'm liking what I'm seeing here. So check this 5-minute candles close. So in my mind, the reason the bodies are closing above the daily fair value gap quadrant is because this liquidity was sitting here. So first, it's disrupting liquidity, accumulating, and then whenever it's ready, when it's time, then it'll displace below this and then respect it to go lower. I'm gonna get in that. I like it. Hopefully that's not impulsive, but I'm liking it. First trade of the day. I only waited several hours. See how this plays out. I liked this wick. It came in one last time above that liquidity and came all the way back down again. I want this to close below this inversion for value gap. It needs to close below it. Good. Preferably, this is a breakaway gap. It does not fill this in. And it just continues running lower to this liquidity here, this little pivot low here. Use this as inversion. Just kind of accelerate to the sell side liquidity resting here. And then again, best case scenario is this here. Bearish SMT on ES still. Well, the best way to position this chart. I'm having one of those instances where I can't figure out how I want my chart to sit. So preferably it does not leave a body closing above the consequence encroachment of this inversion and then this lower quadrant of the daily fair value gap. Do not want to close above those levels, preferably. Like to see just a quick move here. Nice. So I want to see speed through that. Yeah, I don't necessarily want to see that. It traded to this inefficiency. I want to see speed through that because there's this low here as well. And if it's bearish, it will run liquidity. Now, a new 15-minute candle is opening in a minute and a half. So it could be waiting for that open of the new 15-minute candle. It was formed at 107 in macro, so pretty good odds that's a swing high. It is a swing high, but pretty good odds that's going to be a swing high that affords a somewhat decent move lower. It's a good close on that last candle. Nice wick there. Went to the high of the inversion and closed way below it. Not a single body has closed inside of it. That's very good. My stop's a little wide. It probably doesn't need to be so wide. But I'm just going to leave it where it is just because it makes me feel a little more comfortable. But realistically, I don't think it should go above high of day here. I think it should just continue lower. So this is a fine place to have the stop loss, I think, or up here. But I'm just going to keep it here because it makes me feel a little more comfortable. All right, that new 15-minute candle's opened up, so I would expect a small move higher into the prior 15-minute candle's range, and then a move lower. I really like how these candlesticks are respecting this inversion fair value gap. I really like that. It's very good. I want to see speed lower here. I could be demanding and go to break even right now because it's spent enough time in this inefficiency and this inversion, and I'm new 15-minute candle just opened, and I'm wanting to see some aggressiveness lower here. So I could be demanding and go to break even. But that would be demanding. It would be aggressive to go to break even in this moment in time. It would suck. It could be waiting. Look at that. Could be waiting for 130. That would kind of suck. I'd prefer it just to kind of start going now and then 130 accelerate it lower. Um, Interesting. Uh, 47, be 46 and a quarter. Yeah. All right, so I'm at break even. This wick coming in, it doesn't scare me or anything, but we've spent so much time here. Since this wick was formed, I prefer price to stay below the midpoint of this wick. If it comes up above the wick, it could meander higher, and I'm demanding that at this point it go lower because it's spending too much time here. So if it stops me break even, I don't care. But it's spending too much time here. It could stop at break even, but I just don't. I don't care if it does. I want it to go quicker than it is, so I'm just being demanding, just protecting my capital. Okay, so that's it. I'm out break even there. Um, I could get back in if we get some displacement. I could use this one. But it is just, it's spending too much time here. I really would have preferred that it go a little quicker. Could be waiting for 120, 130-ish, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. I just wanted a little more efficiency, I guess. That's pretty typical, isn't it? Uh, if we displace through that, I will go ahead and get back in. Isn't that annoying? It's annoying it spent so much time there. This did not. This was not a breakaway gap either because it filled in. Of course, the bodies stayed below it, but I would have preferred that to stay open. So maybe this will be the breakaway gap. I mean, if you look at the move higher over here, it was real easy. It went immediately. There's breakaway gap as well. So That's what I'm wanting up here. If it's going to be bearish. Mm. Tricky. It is respecting this quadrant now, which is really nice. Just went up and touched it there. Ooh, and ES has taken these lows as well already. So NQ is just being, I mean, ES is doing it, right? But NQ is being held here. So hmm. I do like that the bodies are respecting that. But it has been a challenging day, and I'm just trying to not, I'm trying to not force something that isn't there. But at times that can be really hard to know. It's like, am I being disciplined or am I being fearful? It's a very fine line. I will say, if I hadn't gone to break even here, if I was still in it, I would certainly be at break even now with this displacement below these lows because I want to see acceleration. And we really aren't accelerating through this inefficient. This is supposed to be an inversion for value gap, and we're staying inside of it. And yeah, it's just not being as efficient as I would want it to be. Suppose we could get rid of these ones from earlier. That's still a nice one I want to keep an eye on. Yeah, yeah. We'll see. It's not really, it's like it's trying to, it's like it wants to go lower, but it's not being allowed to go lower, is what it seems like. I mean, ES has literally taken all of this already, and NQ is just accumulating, really. So it could easily pop up again at this point. It is taking way too long to get moving. Chart seems a little busy. Crazy how quickly these levels add up to your chart. It took that liquidity, so I guess we can go ahead and get rid of that. I have it on my other chart, so I can still see it. Everything else seems important though. I mean, I guess this we could get rid of this projection, that one. But I like this inversion. And I like this one. And I like this one. And then this is obviously that key level I've had all day. So yeah. It's not that busy, but it's a little busy. It's that 5 minute value gap here. It really looks like there's a volume imbalance right there, but there is not. Yeah, with the way it's behaving, I don't feel regret or upset that I got stop break even because it is just slow, being slow. 130 will be interesting, I think. See what happens at 130. At this rate, I think it'll pop back up above these highs because it's taking way too much time. It's just holding that fair value gap. It's not treating it as inversion. It's staying inside of it, like, but I guess the context with it being lunch macro, I wanting to see sell side taken, wanting this to be high of day, right? If that's your context, then that means that this must be traded through quickly and spend little time inside of it. Same with this one. Spent too much time here. It is respecting the consequence encroachment, just like how I said it would, right? I said after liquidity is taken and when it's time, it'll respect this. But it's just taking too long. So now I'm thinking it'll probably snap up here. And, we'll see what it's looking like after that. At 130, something will happen. So because it closed above these two levels, I think that it'll take this high out, because the reason it would disrespect something like that is to go take liquidity. There you go. There it is. So yeah, it doesn't matter. I got stopped at break even here, because once this low gets taken and we're trading into this inversion, I'd be at break even anyway. So mm. That is a 1 minute order block. See if that holds. And then I think I'm going to get rid of this. I'll keep that one because that one's been important, clearly, right? But this inversion seems important to me now, this one. Could be one last little Judas swing, taking out shorts, trapping longs before heading lower. Be interesting to see if we respect that mean threshold there, the order block. Could view this as break of structure and then OTE. That's prepped, just in case it gets moving. I like that we've come back down like that so quickly. Placed it a little early. Um, Preferably you wait for this to close, but I think it could really get moving here. That's the low of that for value gap again. Uh, Preferably this closes as low as possible. Hmm. Would have preferred to see that candle close lower. Yes, when it took these lows here, bullish some T on NQ there. Well, hopefully we get moving. This wicks midpoint. See that? Yeah. That's obviously not what you want to see. Just checking that 5 minute real quick. But yeah, obviously that's not preferable. Oh, I said I jumped the gun on that. Hopefully it holds this and comes back down. Not much to do right now. I do like that it held the mean threshold and it closed in this what would have been gap, came all the way down. There's a little inefficiency here I'd like it to trade through. I don't like that it held the midpoint of this, but hopefully this gets moving lower here. Yeah, I didn't quite get that confirmation, did I? Didn't close below that. It just moved so quick. I got in my head that it was potentially just going to continue. So I jumped the gun on that entry and I'm paying the price for it at this point. So now I just have to hope that it comes back down here. I do still like the idea of going short during this time, but I may have just jumped my entry. I'm potentially fatigued from waiting all day. Already 5 minutes. Guess we'll check this 5 minutes, see what it looks like. Okay. That's nice, like that. Hopefully that just presses lower. Um, let's see, where's this? Okay, so I'm right above the consequence encroachment of that 5 minute wick, so that's as good of a place as any to have a stop. Unfortunately, I don't have as good of a position as I would have wanted. I just kind of jumped it a little bit, so now I just have to just wait, I guess. I don't like that it wicks like I really want this to start moving lower here. Check ES. ES took this high, so there's a little bearish SMT there in NQ. Needs to get going here soon. It's 5 minute again. Okay, we got a body below that midpoint. That's good. Want to see it go quick through here. I don't want it to see it meander. There's liquidity here, and it's pretty well overdue now that we run sell side. So I don't want to see much more meandering. This volume of balance here. I mean, that's a nice signature. If the volume imbalance is being respected like that, that's a really good bearish signature. ICT says that those are the weakest PD arrays. I'm still not super pleased with my entry. I jumped it a little bit, but that new 5 minute candle, a new 5 and 15 minute candle. So we'll see what happens here. Preferably we see some speed. Getting quite tired of waiting around for this. It's overdue. There you go. Keep going. I want to see that type of movement sustained. Need to get through that Wix midpoint. And these inversions. This one's clearly important. Clearly, it's been stopping it. So Hopefully we can get a move on. Check yes. Really worried about it coming up here one more time. I like that the volume imbalance is stopping it. I hate that it's taking so much time here. It shouldn't be coming back up like that again. It really shouldn't. Damn. See macro. I'm not gonna be too surprised if I get stopped at this point. It's just taking too long. It's unfortunate I jumped that entry. I probably shouldn't have. Probably just tired. Been sitting here all day. Just waiting. Alright. That's the stop. Oh, frustrating. At this rate, I'm not too confident in these lows being taken because already after 130. But I am still confident in a move lower. It's here. I think this will be inversion. This is our last, should be our last Judas up here. Bearish S&T on ES at this high. This high. So we'll see a quick movement through this inefficiency. Last trade was a $40 loss, $44 loss. So that's how much I need for break even on the day. I like that it respected that so nicely. Also, ES still has the obvious liquidity here. ES is still really obvious for the draw lower. I really just jumped this. This isn't a confirmed inversion until we get a close below it, and we never did. This one, I'm basing more off of the fact that it respected this event horizon of these two projections. So that's why I got in early here, because like that is a nice signature to see during macro. Plus my short bias still stands for these lows at a bare minimum and these for best case scenario. So nothing's really changed. I just jumped this too early and I made myself the liquidity basically for this due to swing. So 2 o'clock, I'd want to see speed lower. I like that it's leaving these little inefficiencies open on the move down. They're small, but we did leave them open. Now there's this, right? This is the one I was watching before. So if it's bullish, it'll use this as a reclaimed bullish fair value gap. If it's bearish, it'll snap on through it and use it to go lower. Failed to even reach this inversion on that wick. That's really good. Immediate rebalance lower. That's great. Go ahead and check the 5-minute again. Yeah, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? That looks pretty good. Yeah, swept this high and getting some nice movement here in ES, and that's just so obvious to me. Plus this. I like how that just snapped back down. Retail is viewing this as a bullish trend line, so that's just perfect to disrupt that. Then ES has real clean equal lows. Pretty sure at that. Yeah, that's where ES has really clean lows. There's that pesky wick. Look at that. Just about to say, wow, this is looking really good. It's still looking really good, but dang, look at that reaction off the wick. Crazy. All right, in the next minute at 2 o'clock, I want to see an aggressive move lower because that's the open of the new hourly candle. We are now in the PM, right? The PM set, yeah, PM session. We are respecting my inversion for value gaps. There's obvious liquidity below the market. We just tripped up longs, including myself. So we should be ready to go. Next candle, I want to go straight lower. Oh, there you go. It is time to go lower. Come on. It is being so reluctant. Like, it needs to just hop lower there. It's being so reluctant. There you go. Check this 5 minute real quick. I am waiting patiently. If or when this low gets taken out, I'm going to go to break even. Because it should accelerate lower. Should not come back up to here. Especially after this low's taken. Could be waiting for this next 5 minute candle to close. Or like the next 5 minute candle to open, rather. There you go. Goodness, dude. Being patient with it. Oh, wow. Look at ES here. Okay, I don't like that. ES has pressed significantly lower. Oh, this is really challenging. I'm gonna demand that this go lower because of the bullish S&T on NQ here. Because ES has fallen. And yeah. Well, I think that means I'm done for the day. If it goes lower from here, it's like, ugh. But I hate that during this time here on NQ, ES went significantly lower, almost taking out this low here, and NQ is making a higher, like breaking this high here. Like I hate that. I do not like that. Um, so yeah, it's really unfortunate. I jumped this entry here and took a loss. Got back in here, really liking it. But at this point, it's like it's just I don't know. Seems ridiculous for me to demand that it go lower when it's clearly not going lower, especially in the manner that I want it to. So, and with the SMT on ES here is what really, I didn't notice it right away, obviously. I noticed it almost too late. But when I see that, I'm just thinking like, no, just need to go to break even and be done. So I think that'll do it for today. Um, I was pretty accurate on the morning session in the high resistance liquidity. I called it pretty well. Um, I didn't trust this, but it ended up being a pretty good entry. I was correct about this here. And the lunch macro just is not playing out. So, yeah, it's just being real reluctant to head lower. Um, it's just not easy money. So I am just going to be done for the day and wait for easy money. If it tanks, uh, there will be new opportunities. So that'll be it.